not the stool. If you'll take this seat right here.
Where you want me in there?
I'm on
the Me and you on the end. How you doing, bud? Me and you on the end.
We ain't got enough cheers.
Yeah, come on. Good. You got plenty of cheers.
Hey, Jim.
What's happening, man? Saw Ty the other night.
Good.
He kicked our ass.
Great.
I said, well, I was racing Ty the other night.
Oh, yeah.
He's a lawnmower driver.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're having a bunch of cheers.
It'll be good.
I don't know what we're doing, but we're here.
Say hey. Say hey.
Well, good afternoon, everyone, and thanks for coming in and taking a few minutes to listen in on this press conference. I'm Jerry Punch. In case those of you may not know me, I got a chance to be around this sport for 30-some years and was very blessed to be a part of it. And today I've been asked to be a part of this special group as we turn back the clock and reflect on this throwback weekend about what happened here in 1992 when the racetrack decided they were going to turn it to concrete, and the rest is history. Some incredible memories over the years. So what I'm going to introduce, as if these guys need introductions, but we'll go with Joe Gibbs to my immediate right here, and beside him Richard Childress. Next to him, the King, Richard Petty. I hear you're not supposed to ever introduce royalty, but that's okay. He is the King. And beside him is Kyle Petty. And Kyle, who is that with you?
This is Overton.
Okay, Overton. So that's Overton. So we're going to ask these guys to reflect, if they would, for a minute, because all of them had an impact to some degree or another on what's happened at this racetrack. Let's go back to 1992. Let's talk about what are your remembrances or reflections on that first race on concrete in '92. Kyle, we'll start with you. I think you were in that race and had a good run.
I never had a good run at Bristol, so
yeah.
Here's what. So the two things I remember was how rough it was. Honestly, when we first got here, if everybody remembers when we first went out, you just talked about how this place just chattered your teeth in that car. And they did a lot of work on this racetrack. They ground, they put down rubber. I mean, they did everything they could to make it happen. And we'd never seen anything like this, really. You know what I mean? I mean, you come in here, you didn't think they were going to be able to put up concrete. And they did, but it was the roughness and the abrasiveness of what the racetrack was. The other thing was, this is just a stupid Kyle Petty thing. Watching the race, I can't remember, I think the Saturday race, and listening on TV or radio, I can't remember which one it was, so I don't want to call anybody out in particular, but somebody spun for like the first time on TV, and the smoke had like a greenish hue to it, and they were like, look at that. When you spin on concrete, the concrete makes a green smoke. First, when you spin, rubber makes the smoke, not the concrete. You know what I mean? It's the rubber. That's where the smoke comes from. But it was so funny because everything that happened on concrete appeared to be different than what it did on the asphalt. But once the race started, it wasn't. It wasn't. It was just a racetrack.
Yeah, thank you, Kyle. King, Richard, what about your thoughts? And you retired at the end of 1992, so this would have been August.
I was so busy just doing everything except the racetrack, I guess. I don't remember. I know the whole '92 season was just a fog. I was busy doing all the retirement part and all that, and my racing deal was just a sideline. And I guess we're so busy up here. I really don't remember the race. I know I didn't finish very good, but I never finished very good in '92 anyway. But if there was a wreck out there, I probably got into it. So, from the time they first started this track, it was one way, kind of a pretty nice racetrack. And then they banked it a little bit, and then they changed it again. And I was I never won a lot of races. I won 3 races, I think, in 75 or 76, somewhere along there. And other than that, my finishes at Bristol, I never looked forward to going to Bristol because I never finished good.
Well, it was certainly a different animal, although you had so much success everywhere else you went, and did win here, I think, 3 times, as you said. Well, how about a 9-time winner? Richard Childress Racing has won here 9 times. And RC, your thoughts about 92, if you remember back then, or basically them changing this track to concrete?
You know, it's kind of go along with Kyle there. I can remember that tire wear was one of our same as we have today. Tire wear was one thing we were all worried about, and Dale was driving the car, and he wasn't a big fan of concrete, I can tell you. 92 wasn't a good year for us either, you know. We'd won championships in 90, 91, 93, 94, but you had those off years. But it was different, you know, even just like Martinsville, we have concrete today in Bristol, Dover. It's a different animal that takes a little different thinking and setup. But I got to sit here and think about, as a driver, my favorite, most memorable trip up here was when I drove the King's car back in the 70s. He gave out or something happened. He was sick. I can't remember what happened. But I never will forget them cramming cushions in behind me. Old Dale Inman cramming pillows behind me where I could reach the pedals. But we did okay, didn't we, King? That's one of my favorite memories as a driver.
That's great, RC. Joe, your thoughts about 92 concrete or this track since?
Yeah, I think that was our first year, if I got this right. And Dale Jarrett's driving the car, and it was our best finish that we had for the entire year. We didn't win a race. We were getting kicked all over the place. And I remember Dale, though, said he loved this place, and we finished second. And so that was my first memory of being here. The second thing that happened, we started our drag racing team, and we were back here. You know, this thing is awesome. When you hear those Top Fuel cars and stuff go through there, and the sound and everything from that is unreal. We finished our NHRA deal after 4 years, and we set a record. We blew up more stuff than anybody's ever seen. So that was second. So let me give you my personal favorite memory of Bristol. We came here. Norm Miller came with me, our founding sponsor, with his wife. And so we had helicoptered in. And so after the race, it got foggy. And they said, the helicopters are done. And I said, oh, my gosh, now what are we going to do? And we started walking, and we went all the way down the hill, and we went down to the service station at the bottom of the hill down there. So I look, and there's this kid with a pickup truck. And so I walked over to him, and I said, hey, you want to make $100? And he went, yeah. I said, do you know where the airport is? And he goes, yeah. We got in back of the pickup, and we're driving. Let me say this. It was a memory I'll never forget because it was kind of foggy, and we were in to those valleys, going into complete fog, coming out the other side, a beautiful moon there. I think it was one of the prettiest rides that we ever had. And we went for 45 minutes, and next thing you know, poop, we popped up right at the racetrack. So that's my most favorite memory. I think we almost got rid of our sponsor, but other than that, we're okay.
I got to say, favorite memory, I'm going to throw one in here. So I'm typical. I think we'd switched to Dodge, and I blew up or wrecked or something. And Danny Lawrence come out. I was changing clothes out in the van, out in the bus, and Danny Lawrence said, Kevin's sick. Harvick is sick. Can you come get in Kevin's car? And I'm like, my left butt cheek wouldn't fit in the seat of Kevin Harvick. You know what I mean? That's how simple it was. I want you to think about Kevin when he started. I came down here, and y'all crammed me in that car. And I drove the whole, whatever part of it I drove. I drove the last part of the race. On my left side, I sat on my left cheek with my right foot facing this way, and I'd gas and brake with the same, because I couldn't use my left leg at all in the car. And we went out. I didn't wreck. That was all you were supposed to do. When you relieved well, because y'all were in the points. Y'all were you had to get some points. But that was the coolest thing. Was to be able to get in your car, in a Childress car up here. I relief drove for him one time. and once for Bonnet up here for Neil. Got to drive one of Junior's cars up here. So those are two good memories for me up here.
Hey, King, do you have a memory? Do you have a favorite memory overall of
He never relief drove for anybody. He just
Yes,
mailed
I
it and run
did.
out of things. People got in his car. He didn't get in somebody else's car.
I got in Pearson's car one time. Yeah.
Did you really?
Yeah, I don't know what happened, but anyhow. And I got in some boys from Virginia somewhere. Anyhow, I got in his car, and I'm like you. I couldn't get down in the seat, so I was just sitting up on top of it. I think I drove about maybe 150 laps and stuff. Told guys, I got to get out of this thing. I'm suffering more than the car is. So other than that. I just remember how many times I wrecked up here, and probably half the time it was my fault. But it was a very at that particular time, the drivers didn't have the seats, they didn't have the stuff around their neck, all that stuff. And I know the first time we run up, or one of the times we run up here, my neck gave out with me, and I was going around the track like this, and so. I don't even think we didn't have radios at that time. And anyhow, somehow or another, me and Dale communicated. And so I said, okay, we've got to do something to prop my neck up. And at that time, the tires came in with the extra deal in and had a rubber around the wheel, just a rubber band. And Dale said, I came down pit road with my arm out the window because what they done, they pulled that thing up, put it around my arm here, and then wrapped it around my head so that I could hold the thing up.
Wow.
So that was the first neck restriction, I guess.
First Hans collar.
The homemade Hans device.
We're way ahead of our time.
That's it.
Hey, we got to wrap this up, but I want to ask one more question because I've asked this to RC. We've asked it when we're sitting there relaxing with a beverage or two in the past. But two of the big memories here at Bristol were the 3-car and Terry Labonte, Dale and Terry. And Richard, your take in those 95 and again in 99, did Dale do anything wrong?
Never. In my eyes, I'll tell you a quick story. I know we all got to go to work here, but after one of those wrecks that I don't forget which one Dale and Terry got into it. I think we won the race, and Mike Skinner was driving for me. And I did an autograph session at Lowe's, and I left there, and I come back, and I stopped at a Hardee's there to get me a sandwich to go down the road. And I walked in, mature lady. They're mature now at my age. So this mature lady come up to me, and she said, I hate you and I hate that driver. I thought she was going to whoop me right there. But that's my memory of. Yeah, we had some fun up here.
Yeah. I need to be Richard's PR person for a minute. He meant to say incident. He didn't mean to say wrecks. He meant to say after the second incident, not after a wreck. It was not a wreck.
Yeah.
Well, Terry wrecked.
Let's clarify that. That's right. That's true.
Yeah, never admit any guilt when all you're really doing is rattling someone's cage. That's
True.
okay.
Yeah, that's an incident.
Yeah.
That's an
Well,
incident.
guys, thanks so much for taking the time to come out and talk about the great memories of Bristol and the concrete. Because, folks, the concrete is back, and we're turning back the clock to 92, and hopefully we're going to have a race that's even better than what we've seen in the past here today for the Food City 500. Thanks so much, guys.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, guys.
Appreciate it.
y'all.
Thank y'all. Yep. Oh, my God.
So what's his name?
His name was Overton.
Hey, Matt, good to see you, Coach. How are you? Do you want to get up with them, have Joey take a photo for you? Yeah.
Have a-